ChatAE provides the organizational layer that enterprise sellers and teams need to leverage AI for various account planning workflows. Let's walk through it together. Every account that is uploaded into ChatAE gets its own dedicated account workspace. Within this workspace, sellers can organize various account planning workflows and leverage various ChatAE agents to be much more effective and much more efficient. To get started, we can start by uploading a list of accounts, either manually or by uploading a CSV. When we're working with teams too, you can also import accounts via a Salesforce integration. After your accounts are selected, the building block for the account workspaces is ChatAE custom triggers. These triggers are organized into a number of different categories based on out-of-the-box triggers we see our users doing most often. These include things like company investments in certain areas, company strategies for key initiatives, executive quotes on various topics, financial information, industry news, a whole host of information gleaned from job posts, leadership changes, a whole bunch of information from LinkedIn, and just core information about the company you're researching into. Each of these can be further tailored and customized either directly by leveraging some of the templates we have or by creating your own brand new custom trigger. The point of these triggers is to get as hyper nuanced and detailed and specific for the things that you are selling and for what is most relevant for you and your ICP. After selecting your various triggers, the next step is to actually deep dive into your accounts, deep dive into the research, and ultimately leverage that research to craft best-in-class messaging or prep or engage throughout a sales cycle. Let's walk through an account together. Here's an account that we have, Bank of America, and what we're doing here is we're digging into each of the different triggers that was found and researched via ChatAE. And so, as you can see here, we have a whole number of things ChatAE is diving into. Things like recent news, financial information, data strategy, information from LinkedIn, including direct activity, strategic priorities, executive quotes. In this case, we are working as one of the ChatAE users at Snowflake. And so the things that they care about and the custom triggers that they selected include a whole number of things related to initiatives like AI, engineering roles being hired for, cloud spend, IT spend, cloud strategy, and certain tech mentions that might propagate across different job postings like data lake strategy or Python or even Snowflake itself. From here, I can dive into any of these pieces of research and go into much greater detail. In the case of this example, we're looking at all of the different quotes that came through from the executive team in the ChatAE trigger about AI, for instance. I can go into and actually click through to see where this was sourced from, click through and actually read further, or at any given point in time across all of this research, or for specific research, I can actually interact with the ChatAE copilot and start asking it questions. And so because ChatAE knows that I am at Snowflake, and because this user has either fed it additional information about Snowflake or when we're working with teams, digested a whole number of internal bits of context, I can just ask ChatAE things like, which of these triggers is most relevant for how we can help? What ChatAE will then do is go look across all the research that has been done across all of these triggers and actually start helping us prepare to understand how we can help this given account. And from there, we have a number of different options that we can proceed with, like deep diving into the specific research directly, or using this information to ultimately craft best-in-class messaging or prep for an upcoming call. And so in this example, a number of triggers were highlighted, including things like the CTO mentioning that they're moving 89% of their workloads into private cloud, including specific data points related to that endeavor. And so from here, I can have ChatAE start crafting me some strong personalized messaging. So based on this, write me a short LinkedIn message to send to their head of engineering. Now, as ChatAE is crafting this message, I'm not going to just blanket send this message. In strategic sales, that is not going to be most effective. That's not going to be what works best. Now, I'm going to need a human element, human input in this process. And so ChatAE will save this message in its own dedicated section of my account workspace. As a seller, I can come in and make any changes I need to based on what I want to update. And I can do that either directly with the chat or by coming in and actually making any changes as I need to within the message itself. And so any artifacts that are created as part of my account planning exercise, whether that's messaging, whether that's stakeholder mapping, whether that is prep docs, whether that is an overall account plan doc, all of that will get saved within the Engage tab on my account workspace. Now, this is really useful for digging into research at the company level, but what about people? Research can be done also at a person level within ChatAE, and you can also conduct contact lookups within ChatAE. And so here's an example where for Bank of America, I asked under the contact tab for ChatAE to go find mobile engineering leadership contacts, but maybe I also want to find some dedicated IT directors as well. So within ChatAE, you can do searches for contacts either just purely off of titles or by asking ChatAE in the chat, hey, go look up their mobile engineering leaders, and ChatAE will translate your query into the relevant titles. And as ChatAE is finding these contacts, we will surface those to you here, and you'll have the ability to also grab their contact information. So email information, mobile phone numbers, and by default, ChatAE will always return this person's LinkedIn profile as well. And the best thing is none of your ChatAE Insight credits are used unless and until you run mobile or email lookups, and only when this data is returned in a verified form will your credits ultimately be used. And so this gives you wide latitude to go do stakeholder mapping and identify all of the stakeholders and decision makers that might be involved in your account, and then further tailor that research to them. Any contact that is then found can be further researched within ChatAE, and you can do things like look up their LinkedIn, see what topics they've talked about or posted about on LinkedIn, even generate some hypotheses for what they might care about. And so as you bring all of this together, the idea here is being able to really get strong from an overall account planning perspective and create the best-in-class messaging to break into accounts faster and ultimately run meetings more effectively.